So I'd like to thank you for joining me today. I love Broadway Boxed Up, so I'm excited to have you on. And so for the first part, can you please explain a little bit about yourself and who you are, for those who don't know?
Well, hello, everyone. Thanks for having me. My name's Anant, and I'm a theater and film producer, as well as the founder and owner of Broadway Boxed Up, which is a theater-themed subscription box service and merchandise company.
That's awesome. And so what made you want to get started on Broadway Boxed Up?
Yeah, Broadway Boxed Up really came out of the pandemic. It was May 2020. I was living in New York City. I had could no longer attend theater like so many other people, and I was thinking about what can I do to bring theater to people when there is no theater to go to. And one idea I had was maybe I can bring theater to people's homes somehow. And I had some experience with merchandise, and I thought, what if I can bring merchandise to people's home each month? And that's kind of how Broadway Box Up was formed.
That's awesome. And so you've mentioned you're also a theater producer, so how did you get into that area?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think, all my life, or at least all my adult life, I've always wanted to do something the business side of entertainment. And I just didn't know what that meant. But I knew I loved the entertainment world. I love the business world. And I thought there has to be some way that you can be connected, that I can be involved. And I slowly learned about producing. And so when you think of every Broadway show, they're really each a startup company, and your lead producer is that CEO. And so once I kind of put theater and film in that framework of startups, it kind of clicked for me immediately. And I realized that's kind of the realm of theater that I'm interested in right now. And I had my first opportunity to invest and then eventually co-produce shows that came out of conversations on an app called Clubhouse, which was this like audio-based room app where people would join on their phones and kind of join audio rooms and basically have conference calls. And during 2020, 2021, when there was no theater, a lot of the theater and film industry was on this app. So I got to meet so many people, learn about producing, and make connections.
That's awesome. And so what is one of your favorite shows that you've produced and why?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm so lucky to have done so many shows, and I think one that will forever be one of my favorite shows I've ever produced is Here Lies Love. It's a 90-minute disco musical written by David Byrne and Fatboy Slim about the rise and fall of Imelda Marcos in the Philippines, and that show just hits so many different check boxes for me. Just the representation on stage, an all Asian, all Filipino cast. Getting this historical story that a lot of younger people don't know about because they didn't live through. They don't really know or think about the Marcos regime, but it also pushes the boundaries of theater in terms of it was a truly fully immersive experience. If you bought an orchestra ticket, instead of sitting down, all the seats were removed. And so all the dancers and singers were on moving platforms. And if you're an audience member, you're like dancing along with the cast, and it's a fully interactive. And I think it's just one of the coolest things that's ever happened in a Broadway theater. And so I think it's going to be one of my favorite shows that I've ever produced, probably for the rest of my life.
That's awesome. And so what got you into theater in general?
Yeah, I think there's a few things. I've always loved cinema and film, and I grew up watching a lot of Bollywood films, and so Bollywood films tend to be movie musicals. So I've always loved that, and I grew up at a time where Pitch Perfect and Glee were like the very end thing. So I grew up, in orchestra and band, singing in a cappella in high school and college, and that's very theater adjacent. But the theater world and the a cappella world are very intertwined, and so I think I've always had that theater influence. And Smash came out, the TV show, at a really influential time in my life, and that was kind of my theater education. I had never known what a dramaturg was or what previews were, out of town tryouts, or any of those theater terms until I watched that show, and it introduced me to Broadway legends like Liza Minnelli and Bernadette Peters. And so truly that show kind of showed me, one, what theater is, but also that a career in theater is possible through being an actor or producer or a dramaturg or all these different things beyond the typical actor director type of roles you think of.
And Smash is coming to Broadway now, correct?
It is, and I'm
Yeah.
actually really lucky to be one of the co-producers on
Oh,
Smash
nice,
coming to
nice.
Broadway. So I'm super, super excited about it. It's truly a full circle moment. But yes, we are. starting performances March 11th.
That's awesome. And so, with being Broadway Boxed Up being a merchandise company, do you have a favorite piece of merchandise that you sell and why?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's tough because I think merchandise is it's so individual, whether someone has a connection to it or not and why. I really love the merchandise pieces that are clever, that are more than just slapping something on a piece of merch. And so I know one of our really popular items that people really love. We have a theater program pouch, this flexible pouch to store your playbills and programs in from the theater. And we get so many compliments and thank yous from folks all the time about being able to take home playbills really easily and fit a bunch of playbills in it on their trips to New York or their regional theater. So any item that really tells a story. We have a bookmark inspired by Anastasia. Um, this bookmark, multiple people have purchased and just talked about how it's been so meaningful for them and kind of their stories about why this is meaningful. And just hearing those stories has been so emotional and really the reason why we still do this.
That's awesome. And so, when you were younger, what got you into theater?
Yeah. It's a tough question. I think it was just something to do and it was something cool. And I think I love the idea of acting. And so, I was lucky to be in a couple of shows growing up. I didn't do theater all my childhood, but I was fortunate to be able to do it for some of it. And I think it's one of the first like extracurriculars like a kid can do. There's music and there's theater and there's sports. And so I kind of wanted to do as much of it as possible and be as involved as possible. So I was lucky that theater was one of those things I could do.
That's awesome. And so, what advice would you have for your did I say on younger self?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, so I can remember if I asked that. So, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Yeah. Oh, that's so hard. I think just keep doing as much as possible. It's easy to say now, but like, if I'm interested in acting, don't be afraid to find, acting coaches and don't be afraid to find vocal coaches early. Like, I think there's this perception, especially in the arts, that people are just naturally gifted. And there are to some degree some people who do have a knack for certain skills and things like that, but I don't think we really realize that even the greatest talents have coaches and teachers and things like that. And so I think sometimes for kids, there can be some shame in getting a coach or a teacher, or they don't even know that those things exist and that's something they can and should be doing. So I'd say, if it's something you're interested, whatever it is, just do it. Whether it's singing, dancing, whatever, find a coach, find a private teacher, find whatever and practice. You're not going to be good when you start, but like the earlier you start, the better off you'll be in the long run.
That's great. And so, how well versed are you in theater trivia?
Oh gosh. I either there are going to be some things that I'm going to be like 100% yes, and some things I will have no idea. So like, we'll see. We'll find out.
All right, so I like to do this. I have this What's on Stage quiz that I do with a bunch of I've done it with Tim Dolan from Broadway Up Close, and a bunch of other people.
Oh
So,
gosh, this is totally going to call me out on the lack of knowledge I have. I'm so ready. I'm excited.
which Broadway and West End musical poster has the tagline "Believe" on its poster? I have
Believe would it be
options if
Book
you.
of Mormon?
It's the options are Book of Mormon, Prince of Egypt, Believe, Ghost, or Sister Act.
I think Book of Mormon.
It's Ghost.
Re-
Everyone has been saying Book of Mormon. It's Ghost.
well, I was like, I guess there's a song, right? I believe,
I
believe. I just
believe, yeah, that's a song in Book of Mormon. So,
okay, yeah. I didn't think it was on the poster, but I was like, maybe. You said which show is that? Ghost?
yeah.
You know what? I love that movie. I have never seen the musical, but I love that movie.
So this one is which of these US sitcoms has Lin-Manuel Miranda not appeared in? So the options are Modern Family, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Parks and Recreation, and How I Met Your Mother.
Okay, so I know he's been in Modern Family for sure. I remember that episode really, really well. Um, I feel like he would have been in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and I feel like, you know, how I'm gonna say Parks and Rec because it's one of the older shows, and I don't think they film in New York.
That's correct.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Which of these numbers was cut between the original Merrily Roll Along Broadway production and its 1994 off-Broadway production? Growing Up, The Hills of Tomorrow, It's a Hit, and Opening Doors.
Okay, oh my gosh. I did see the new Merrily Roller. I was really lucky. I actually saw it off Broadway at New York Theater
Wow.
Workshop, and I got to be in the front row or the splash zone for Jonathan Groff's bit, and it
Yeah.
was one of the coolest theater experiences I will ever have. Definitely a top five. But oh my gosh, I know it's a hit to song. I listen to some songs, but like okay, give me the options again. Let me try this.
Growing Up, The Hills of Tomorrow, It's a Hit, and Opening Doors.
The second one.
The Hills of Tomorrow.
Yes.
That's correct.
Okay.
According to his own website, seeing which musical convinced Cameron Mac with his aunt convinced Cameron McIntosh that he needed to become a theater producer. Porgy and Bess, The Pajama Games, Damn Yankees, or Salad Days.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is like I'm trying to do deduction. I feel like it was before. Give me the options one more time.
Porgy and Bess, The Pajama Game, Damn Yankees, or Salad Days.
I'm gonna go with Damn Yankees.
It is Salad Days.
That was gonna be my next guess, just because that's the
Yeah.
one show I'm not familiar with. So I'm like, it's probably that one, but I was like, maybe not. Okay, okay, cool.
Which cat is the first cat to sing Angelical songs for Jellicle Cats?
Oh my gosh.
You have to be
See,
like a
I've seen
diehard
Cats
Cats fan.
once.
I was gonna say you have to be like a diehard Cats fan to know
I
that.
know I've
I
seen
didn't
Cats
even
once.
know
I
that.
saw the recent production at the Pack in New York
Oh, you were
City,
able to see
Alpha
it?
Ball, which was like such a cool theater experience. I've never experienced anything like it. I got to sit at one of the tables up front. But for the life of me, I honestly, the first cat to sing, I have n no. What are the options?
Demeter, Cat, Munkenstrap, and Skimbleshanks.
I'm gonna go with Demeter.
It is Munkenstrap. So
Okay. I
yeah, I
was
was gonna
like,
say you have
I know
to.
some of their names, but I was like, there's no way I know which one's first.
Uh, which of the four Gershwin children lived the longest? Ida, Arthur, George, or Francis?
Ooh, that's a good question. Wow, this is hard trivia.
It is. They claim to be the hardest theater trivia on What's Unsafe.
Yeah. See, this is this. I feel like this is the bank where I feel, whenever I go to trivia nights with friends, people are like, "Oh, it's a theater question. You should know it." I'm like, I'm either gonna know it instantly or not have a
Or
clue.
not know it.
I'm gonna go with Ida.
It is Francis.
Ugh.
Okay, so how much do you know of Les Mis?
You know what? Les Mis was actually the first sung through musical I ever saw in middle school. I have not seen Les Mis in a long time, but give it to me. We'll see if I know it.
Mon Prince est un chemin de joie is the original French name for what song in Les Mis?
Oh gosh, I have no idea.
For the record, it was Castle on a Cloud. So
Oh, that makes so much sense. I totally could like, is that a literal translation? Was that like the French translation?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay, makes sense.
Uh, which show won the Tony Award for Best Musical despite containing no original music or live singing? The Will Rogers Folly, Contact, Fiorillo, or Matthew Bourne's Edward Scissorhand?
Won Best Musical, but had no.
No original music or singing or
And what are
live
the
singing.
options?
Will Rogers Folly, Contact, Fiorillo, or Matthew Bourne's Edward Scissorhands?
Okay, I know it's not D. Now I'm like, do I know? I Follies has music in it. Um, so the options are Fiorella, or what's the first one? Contact, or
Con
second one, Contact.
Contact and then Follies.
It's so funny. I can picture their playbill covers, but I can't remember. I'm gonna go. What? Ugh. Is Contact a dance show? Contact,
That is correct.
right? Yeah. Okay.
Oh wait, so income from away, how many residents were housed in Gander the days following 9/11?
Okay, so this is so funny. I know the like actual answer in real life is like about 7,000, but in the musical, I don't know. I actually don't know what the musical says.
6,600.
Okay,
So
okay.
close to 7,000.
Close to 7,000. Okay.
What is the last musical number Roger and Hammerstein ever wrote together? Something Wonderful, Edelweiss, In My Own Little Corner, or Some Enchanted Evening.
Okay. So it's so funny. I call myself a contemporary music or contemporary theater fan because I feel like older stuff I just don't know as much. I know in my little corner Cinderella. I don't think that's the last thing they did. What are the other options?
Something Wonderful, Edelweiss, or Some Enchanted Evening.
Let's go with option A.
It is actually Edelweiss. That was the last song they wrote together.
Oh, okay.
Out of the seven nominations, how many Tony Awards has Patti LuPone won? Zero, one, two, or three?
Yeah. Ooh. Well, I was gonna say it's less than four, fewer than four. Ooh, out of seven, I think she's gotten three.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do I know that? I don't know, but somehow I do.
Which of these is not a Act One song in Back to the Future? So which one is an Act Two song? Wherever We're Going, Cake, Pretty Baby, or Deep Dive In.
Oh gosh.
So which one is not Act One?
Which is not Act One. Deep dive in.
That is correct. That's the one they're singing at the dance.
Yep. Cool.
I saw that show twice and I loved it both times. It was
Did
awesome.
you see it tour or Broadway?
I saw one tour and then one Broadway when I came in July. And
Okay.
it was Casey.
Was the different like was the primary like how did they do the car on tour?
So it was actually very similar. The car still lifted at the end.
Oh, okay, cool.
Except instead of spinning all the way around, it kind of just tilted up back and forth, and then it did a full 360 and then disappeared.
Oh, awesome.
The
Very
only
cool.
thing they didn't have was, have you seen Back to the Future?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know how like at the beginning, Marty has like the guitar, he jumps and it explodes.
Uh-huh.
So instead of it exploding, the door just kind of fell over.
Okay,
So
cool.
it was kind of like anticlimactic because I knew it was coming, and then he did it. I'm like, oh, well, that's cool too.
It's really interesting right now because obviously touring shows and Broadway shows have always had differences because you have to take that set from theater to theater. I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of the differences are more and more stark now, or maybe it just feels that way because we have such grand Broadway shows and technologically and set wise and scenic design wise. So I'm always curious about how things are done on tour, and I love
Oh
seeing
yeah.
productions.
And so, for the next question, which of these is not one of the names in Mamma Mia? Which of these is not the names of Sophie's potential fathers in Mamma Mia? Bill, Eddie, Sam, or Harry?
Eddie,
It is. Sorry, it is Eddie. Yes.
cool.
And so you have a How to Dance in Ohio shirt on. And so
Yes.
this next question is a how the next few are about How to Dance in Ohio. So these are finish the lyrics.
Okay, I'm actually might be able to do this one because How to Dance in Ohio was my four of my five top songs on Spotify last year were How to Dance in Ohio.
Oh, really?
But I don't listen to the whole thing, but I should know. I should hopefully know it. Okay.
Okay, it's loading.
I did. I mean, I'm a co-producer on the show, so like I would hope I would know it, but we'll find out.
So this one is getting ready for the dance.
Okay.
My mother taught me how to blot my lipstick, how to pin my boatine.
Oh my gosh, I can hear it in my head. Okay, give it. Okay, it's the next verse. Okay. This is actually one of my favorite songs from the musical too. Oh my gosh. Okay.
The next one starts with we.
Okay, don't tell me it's gonna come to me. Oh my gosh. I can do this. We, oh my gosh. I can like hear it, but not, oh, this is killing me. Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. Okay, give me like 10 more seconds. Let me see. I like melodically know what comes next, but I cannot put the words for it. Okay, what is it? What's the
We
next
played
word?
Crazy Eights while we waited for my date to appear.
Yes. Okay, thank you. I was like, it ends with ear, but I don't know what it like. I don't know what the words are. Okay, yeah. Yep.
This one is circuits have wires, people have veins,
Okay, something, something, something. Veins carry blood. Um,
it's circuits have wires, people have veins, where wires carry light, veins carry blood.
okay, yes. Is that
Uh,
from Waves and Wire?
yeah, it is.
That's my next favorite song. So clearly I have no idea what the lyrics are to like my favorite songs in this musical. Great.
Uh, let's throw a new dance tomorrow. Let's use this sensor. This is from Building Momentum.
Yeah. I can hear Liam singing it. Is the next word and I'll
And Will.
and will oh my gosh. New dancing. Oh my gosh, I truly have no idea. Will
And will
something.
cater all our favorite food.
Thank you. Oh my God. Yes, like you say that, I'm like, of course, obviously.
All right, well, that wraps up the interview today. I'd like to thank you for joining me.